What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on FantasyPros with a 12-team PPR setup. We've got the 12th pick overall, so it should be pretty interesting. And as far as the roster is concerned, 1 quarterback, 2 RBs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. So nothing too crazy there. Same as usual. And that being said, we can kick this off. And while we wait, a quick reminder. If you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe. Let us hear it in the comment section. Along with any other questions you guys might have, we will do our best to answer them all. And lastly, check us out online at alldaypigskin.com. And while you're there, get yourself a copy of the 2021 ADP Fantasy Football Draft Guide. Everything you can want at a great value. Details in the description. But with that being said, let's take a look at what has taken place so far and, kind of decide which direction we will go in. So the first 3 picks, nothing too crazy. McCaffrey, Cook, Alvin Kamara. Then Davante Adams at the 104. Way too early for any pass catcher, in my opinion, because you've still got an Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry. I would flip Zeke and Derrick Henry, first taking Ezekiel Elliott in full PPR scoring, which is the case here. Austin Eckler above, really, Kelsey or Davante Adams. You can throw Aaron Jones in there, who we barely missed out on Aaron Jones. Man, oh man, that would have been pretty awesome to get Aaron Jones with the last pick in the first round, then maybe pair him up with an Antonio Gibson. But no, that won't be the case here. And honestly, looking at what running backs are available, we do have Saquon Barkley, a big name guy, but a little bit risky. So, with that being the case, him coming back from an injury, probably going to be on a snap count on an offense with the questionable offensive line, I think it'd probably be a little bit smarter to go with an Antonio Gibson first and then probably go with one of the top remaining pass catchers, because right now I anticipate that in the 3rd round we might have a DeAndre Swift or a Chris Carson or a James Robinson available to us, something like that. And I'd be all right in that scenario. Maybe even then go back-to-back running back selections, get some depth that way. And we'll started out with Gibson and Tyreek Hill. So I would feel pretty good about that situation. Again, the first 2 rounds, limiting risk. I think Saquon Barkley right now is just a little bit too risky for me. So I'm going to go another direction here with Antonio Gibson. I'm not a big fan of Najee Harris. I know he's got high upside. Same with Joe Mixon, but it's a little bit too early for me here. Question marks about the offensive lines. So let's just go with Tyreek Hill. And just like that, I would argue we have got an RB1 and a wide receiver 1 on the squad. And now the big question, what happens at the running back position? Are we going to get lucky, or are we going to have to potentially, pivot in terms of our original draft strategy? But after we went Tyreek Hill, you see Saquon Barkley then. I think this is going to be pretty typical. You're going to see Saquon Barkley towards the end of the 1st round, early 2nd round. Then Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins makes sense, catching up on the wide receiver value. Najee Harris, DK Metcalf, Calvin Ridley. And then first quarterback off the board. Boy, Patrick Mahomes, Darren Waller at that point in the 2nd round. So right now, there's some good value at running back, I would say. I wouldn't have taken Patrick Mahomes that early. You do see Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson both taken in the 3rd round. And the one thing I would say is wherever you do take a quarterback, all these tier 1 quarterbacks, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and Kyler Murray, I would be probably taking one right after the other. But as is the case with their ADPs right now, the fact that you can get, one, if not several of them, a round and a half after Patrick Mahomes, I'd much rather do that than, takes one of these guys in the 3rd round. But kicking off the 3rd round, speaking of, you see Justin Jefferson, George Kittle. So the top 3 tight ends officially all off the board. Then Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen. I really don't like this Josh Jacobs pick, man. I've seen it, more and more. Maybe it's more so in mock drafts. Once you actually get into the real thing, people are more hesitant with guys like Jacobs and Miles Sanders. But I really don't like Jacobs as a third round pick at all. You've got Chris Carson still. You've got DeAndre Swift. So I'll pass on these guys. Josh Allen, then Allen Robinson, Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, and Mike Evans. So we've actually got some really great options here, I would say. DeAndre Swift is somebody that's huge upside. If he hits, he's an RB1 type of guy that we potentially got in the 3rd round. But, the question is he going to hit? What type of usage are we going to see from him in Detroit? those are question marks. And I think Chris Carson and James Robinson are safer. So here, I'm pretty tempted to go Chris Carson and Robinson and kind of solidify that running back situation. Yes, probably in the fifth round, we might have a Mike Davis and a Darrell Henderson and a Myles Gaskin, but I do think there is a drop off between Carson, Robinson, and those guys that I mentioned. I would love to get an Amari Cooper right now, but I think that would, really give us a hit at the running back position, and I don't want to do that. So we already got Tyreek Hill, so I think that's, kind of a smart decision when we made it because, like I predicted, the running back position here, we get lucky, I would say, with Chris Carson and James Robinson falling to us. Normally, I think they are early to middle third round selection, so both being available here in the third round, that's what I'm going to go with. So I go Chris Carson, I go James Robinson. We've got our running back position taken care of. I'm going to wave goodbye to Robert Woods, to Deontay Johnson, to Cooper Kupp, to Amari Cooper, and it hurts, but I think we made the smarter choice going with this selection of running backs. But let's take a look at these last few rounds. Robert Woods, followed by DeAndre Swift after a James Robinson selection, then Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper. Tremendous value in Amari Cooper. I've said this before. I think he should be going immediately after Mike Evans. Then Miles Sanders, Kyle Pitts, Julio Jones, Kyler Murray. So officially the top tier quarterbacks all off the board. Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Mark Andrews. So, interesting to see Mark Andrews go before TJ Hawkinson and, maybe spoiler, but that tells you who we're probably going to be targeting here with one of our picks. Then this fifth round, Dak, DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett, Myles Gaskin, Thielen, Ayuk, Gus Edwards, Jamar Chase, Damian Harris, Judy, and Russell Wilson. Now, looking at the cheat sheet, I was kind of right. We have a Mike Davis and a Darrell Henderson available to us, but I don't think either one of them are in the Carson and Robinson category, so I'm very happy with what we were able to do and land. Now here, I'm just going to go get my tight end one. I think we were very, very fortunate to have in a 12-team league TJ Hawkinson fall to us at this point in time. I think after Hawkinson is off the board, we are in a completely different category of tight ends, and there's a big, big gap. So here, I'm going for the biggest upside. I'm not sweating quarterback. I need a wide receiver. T. Higgins is my highest ranked wide receiver left remaining. So welcome to the team, T. Higgins. Hoping, somebody like a Tyreek Hill can anchor the squad while we, potentially add some more depth on this team, find some value. But all things considered, I'm pretty happy with this squad. I really like our three running backs. We've got depth there. Love Tyreek Hill as the anchor at wide receiver. Love the fact that we got Hawkinson. And T. Higgins is somebody that I am high on. But again, quickly taking a look what happened after that. Odell, Logan Thomas. A little too early for Logan Thomas, in my opinion. After that next tier, going from tier 2 to tier 3 of tight ends, I would wait several rounds before selecting another one. Then Claypool, Aaron Rodgers, a huge run on the wide receivers here. Juju, Antonio Brown. Man, I was really, really hoping Brown would get back to us at the end of the 7th round. But hey, people are coming around to the fact that Antonio Brown should be, a 6th, 7th, 8th round selection. He shouldn't be lasting 4 or 5 rounds after Evans and Godwin. Then goes Michael Thomas. I would not take Michael Thomas that early. No chance, because we still don't know when he's going to come back. And the 6th round, that's way too early. Considering Mike Davis is still on the board, I think there's a lot of other, better choices, frankly put. Then we see a little bit of a run on quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, Ryan Tannehill, and Tom Brady both go in the 7th round. Kareem Hunt at the end of the 6th. Looking at the 7th round, some good value picks. Robbie Anderson, Brennan Cooks, Darrell Henderson in the 7th round. Are you kidding me? That's tremendous value. That's one of the best value picks in this entire thing. So great pick there. If you could have told me we could have gotten Darrell Henderson in the 7th round, maybe I would have done things a little bit differently, like in the 3rd, 4th round with Robinson and Chris Carson. But let's get back to our cheat sheet here. And I'm not really all that worried about quarterback. I do want to quickly see how many of these teams do have a quarterback. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So we don't really have to worry about other teams selecting quarterback. There's one other team that doesn't have a quarterback. So we're going to have our choice between like a Jalen Hurts and a Matthew Stafford, so I feel pretty good about that. And in the meantime, we can go with a wide receiver, somebody that we're, a fan of, somebody that we think has high upside. And, right now, the guy that I'm looking at is somebody like a Darnell Mooney, somebody like a Marquez Callaway. At running back, I should state, I think there's still some really good value. In fact, I think it'd probably be smarter to go running back first. Not Raheem Mostert. Ronald Jones is somebody that I think right now is a pretty good pick. Yes, he is more standard suited in terms of scoring formats, but I look at all these guys. Chase Edmonds, okay, PPR, that's nice and everything, but I don't believe in Chase Edmonds. I think James Conner could potentially overtake this backfield. He's going to lose rushes to Kyler Murray as well, so no thank you to him. I'm going to just add Ronald Jones with one of our picks here, and then probably go with a Marquez Callaway afterwards. So that's the way we're going to do this. And you could argue, again, that Marquez Callaway is a reach here, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree, but I'm trying just to get high upside guys, and I think that Marquez Callaway fits that bill. We don't know how long Michael Thomas will be out for, so Marquez Callaway could be a nice piece there. I'm going to add Ronald Jones, get even more running back depth. I like that pick for us. And then let's see if Marquez Callaway shows up here, if we're going to have to add him manually. We're going to manually add him. And then I think best case scenario for me would be Russell Gage is still available to us in the following round. I'd be very, very happy about that. So there we go. We go with Marquez Callaway. Oh, there was an 83% chance that he would have been available. I don't necessarily buy that. We'll see. I think he's a name that's obviously going up draft boards right now. And again, we've gotten to the point where I feel pretty good about my starting core. So I'm taking some chances, probably took him earlier than he deserves to be selected, but it's okay. Now, looking at these next couple of picks, there goes Matthew Stafford with the third pick in the 8th round. Some running backs off the board big time. Javonte, Melvin Gordon, Chase Edmonds, Mostert. Some really good value there. Leonard Fournette, Sermon, Kenyon Drake, Michael Carter, Zach Moss, then a run on tight ends big time in the 9th round. Noah Fant, Goddard, Robert Tonyan, Tyler Higbee, and Mike Gesicki. Makes me feel really good. We got TJ Hawkinson at the end of the 5th round. Also, right now, I should point out that Jalen Hurts still on the board. He's going to be one of our picks here. A high upside quarterback, and I feel pretty good about that. So he's going to be one of our picks. I think we did a good job there. Now, going to wide receiver, I mentioned it before, very high on Russell Gage. So let's add him to the team as well. So we were able to get both Callaway and Gage. I think that's a pretty good combination, as backup depth wide receiver pieces, both on good offenses, both guys that are going to be utilized. So we get Russell Gage, and we'll get 2 last selections to be made here. The guys that I'll be considering, maybe a backup quarterback in case somebody like a Jalen Hurts does struggle, which, again, I could see a scenario where that happens because he doesn't have the most experience in the world, more so a running first quarterback. So if that doesn't hit, we could have some issues. So looking at the cheat sheet, guys that I wouldn't mind, probably Joe Burrow at the top of that list. Wide receivers here, I could probably take a chance on a Elijah Moore. Looking at these guys, Marvin Jones is also at the top of the list in terms of best possible wide receivers left. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with Marvin Jones as one of my picks. I like the upside there. And then we're going to get a backup to Jalen Hurts in Joe Burrow. So, I always say that like Jalen Hurts is one of those quarterbacks that normally I wouldn't get a backup quarterback. But if you take a risky pick like a Jalen Hurts, not a bad idea to back it up with a guy like a Joe Burrow that has some really nice high passing upside. And with that, we wrap up our team. So let's see what type of grade we get here. I'm curious to see. And personally speaking, I think it's a pretty good team. We get a C+ grade, probably getting knocked for the wide receiver situation a little bit. But look, I really like the Tyreek Hill start. Marquez Callaway, Russell Gage, maybe we reached on a little bit, but we got a decent trio there with Callaway, Gage, and Marvin Jones. I think this team is higher than a C+. We did get Jalen Hurts, huge upside, and then backed him up with Joe Burrow. I love our running backs, Gibson, Carson, James Robinson, and Ronald Jones. I would give this like a B- grade at the lowest. TJ Hawkinson was a tremendous, tremendous pick as well. I actually would be very, very fine with this roster. But hey, let me hear it in the comment section whether you agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, and in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.